Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Welcome to the Morning JB Show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, please do drop a like, a comment, or a share. Let me know that you're about. So I hope you had a good weekend. It was a quiet one for me. Just me, not in the family around. So enjoying football and gin is mainly my weekend. So anyway, the thing that I want to talk about today is work overload. Now, in a bid to strive to be consistently successful in your life and your business with control and clarity, we have to look at lots of different elements of our lives and making sure that we're paying attention to them so that we are avoiding negative situations by introducing positive solutions so that we're moving forwards. And the thing we're going to talk today about is that work overload that we have. Now, one of the problems is that when we are overloaded with work, it creates an awful lot of a negative tension, negative emotion, and negative action, because we become so overwhelmed that we think, oh, just fuck it, the fuck it thing that we go through. And that causes us to almost cope in a way that doesn't really benefit our bodies or our mind or our families or just your own well-being. And I'm going to go through that right now. I'm just going to go through a couple of points. I'm going to give you a couple of tips in terms of trying to control it and understand it. All right, so what we've got here is unhappy you and happy you. Okay, this is the path we want to be on, right? Feeling happy, content, feeling like we are achieving, feel like we're getting the work-life balance right, and we're consistent. We're striving for success in our life and business. Okay, but the key words are consistency, control, and clarity. And I think those are the three words, that are pretty much our mission statement, is getting everything done, getting that success done with the consistency, the control, and the clarity. But what ends up happening, okay, is that we are slipping down this road to the unhappy you. All right, that work overload, it's just kind of like when you are putting yourself under so much pressure in your brain that you already have a list of things that you need to do. Other things keep popping into your head and you're trying to write all this to-do list down, and suddenly you've got this piece of paper of about 20, 30 things that you need doing. And you just don't know where to start with it. You just don't know how to prioritize it. You're feeling obligated. You're feeling pressured. You're feeling the responsibility. You're feeling the weight of the world. No one's helping you out. Everyone's sort of like on your back about it. And it's all just becoming too much. And one of the biggest problems is that people are not knowing how to deal with that or how to go about improving their strategy in terms of being overloaded at work. All right. So the first thing let's look at the emotions. Now, when we get overloaded with work, we tend to become quite tense and frustrated, and our bodies take the pressure of your stress, take the full force of the stress that's going on. All right. Our brains feel mentally burnt out. So we feel mentally exhausted. So we end up almost becoming zombified. So we talk a lot about the fucking zombified walk and zombified state of mind. It's just because we're brain fried, right? We're overworking the brain. It's like a muscle. It's no different. Okay, if I bicep for fucking 12 hours a day, bicep curled, then my bicep's going to be screaming. If I'm overthinking too much and I'm burnt out completely, your brain's going to be frazzled. Creates anxiety, okay, because we don't have control. Anxiety comes about because we don't have that control and clarity. Then we slip down and we look at some of the behaviours. So we're very inconsistent in terms of our working practice, okay? We're not following a set pattern, we're not following a set system or a set structure, okay? I've kind of put here, there's no system, there's no effective working practice. We just kind of come in, we're kind of like, look at our to-do list and we're trying to crack on with one thing, we don't quite get it finished, we leave that cup half full, then we go to another cup and we're trying to get that one finished, then the boss is telling you to get this done, or you are the boss and you're trying to get your staff to get stuff finished, or you're running your own business and the pressure's on, and it's just exhausting. There's just too much going on, all right? And that's where the prioritization comes in. That's where effective working practices come in. It's where your own management comes in. Okay, so we're lacking control and we're just lacking the clarity. All right, and that leads to poor coping mechanisms, which tends to be drinking to cope, eating to cope, going home like ratty and taking out on people, being short-tempered, being unfocused on the things that are important. All right, so I'm just going to give you 3 tips, kind of like what I do to help me when I suddenly start going from this path down to this path. And they're not rocket science tips. They're things that I talk about all the time. All right, 2 of them are pretty similar, and one's more of a coping mechanism. So the first one is to gain control and clarity. I plan on a Sunday for the week, and I keep talking about it all the time in detail. I plan my week and exactly what it is that I'm going to do on each day in terms of work, because we're talking specifically about work right now. So I put in those tasks. So for today's example, I know I've got 5 things to do that I know are achievable in a realistic time frame that I have during half term. So taking into all the considerations. I know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So I have clarity of this bird's eye view of the week. And it's almost, if you like, that timetable is almost my to-do list for the week. But taking into, I've got time on a Sunday morning where there's no pressure and there's no stress, and I'm probably at my most relaxed on a Sunday morning. So I can just think clearer and think ahead and go, okay, I can achieve this on this day. Okay, I've got my daughter on that day, so I'm not really going to be able to get too much done there. And it's kind of thinking ahead in a little bit more detail about possible distractions, environments, things that are going to happen. Are you realistically going to be able to achieve the things that you need to achieve? So timetabling for the week. It's like a big to-do list, all right? It's like, boom, this is my aim. I've added control, some control and clarity, and the consistency comes with the planning. The night before, the second thing, the night before the next day, sit down, spend 10 minutes looking at what you've got to do tomorrow, okay? And ask yourself, am I behind or am I ahead? If I'm ahead, then great. I can get what I need to do tomorrow, that's great. If I slipped today and there was a curveball and I'm behind, I then got to take that workload that I didn't get done today and stick that on that day. So I can see potential overwhelm here. So let me spread it further down the week. Let me prioritise what's most important, put the least priority at the end of the week. That way in the evening, you're just taking that little bit of time just to readjust your plan so that you're not suddenly becoming overwhelmed. The last thing is more of a coping mechanism. The minute you're feeling like stress, you're like, oh my fucking God, I feel completely overwhelmed. Like, step away. Down tools, go for a walk around the office, go for a walk around the block, go and grab a cup of tea, take 10 minutes out to let your brain chill. It's like getting the pump, okay, in your arms, okay, your brain's a muscle. Same with your arms, you just stop, right? Stop. And before you go back in, brain dump on a piece of paper everything that's going through your head that you need to do for work, so you don't forget it. Because some of the stress is when you start forgetting what you're thinking and you're like, oh, I must remember that. Write it down. Keep a notepad by your computer. Boom, 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 boom. I have nearly sort of 20 things, and if they're important, I'll circle them and come back to them. See, if we can control that and we have more consistency, more control, more clarity, we are more likely to make our workouts. We're more likely to be in a better mood around our family. We're less likely to be burnt out mentally and physically and drained and drink. So it's a positive thing if we can control our work overload. All right, guys, listen, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you soon. If you're not already on the 5-day challenge, we start a week today. It's free. The link's in the bio. Get yourself on it. All right, have a good one. See you soon.